I ain't been home in a minute. I haven't been home since January. And within the last almost 2 years, I haven't been home for a collective amount of more than a month. And when I say a collective amount, I mean within the time span of like January 2023 to now, the amount of days that I've been back home does not equate to a month. And if it does, then it's like barely a month. Maybe if I'm lucky, like a month and a few days or whatever. But I think the weird thing about that is I didn't really realize that when I get older, I don't go home as much. Like I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. It's just weird. I'm like doing a lot of reflecting because I'm going home on Wednesday and I haven't been home since January. And being back home can kind of give off weird vibes, but also great vibes simultaneously, because it's like you get to see the people that you haven't seen in so long. I'm very excited to see my family and my friends. And I'm excited on that aspect of things, but the energy sometimes I feel when I go back home is strange because it reminds me of why I left in the first place. And I think it's a good thing if like you go back and you're reminded, because then you're like, I know I've grown because I still don't fit this energy here, rather than going home and being like, oh man, I feel like I'm reverting. I'd rather feel like I don't belong than feel like I'm reverting, which is a pretty good thing, I guess. I'm really excited to go back home. I went to I went to Syracuse not that long ago to see my girlfriend, and we were like sitting in her room, and we were literally just like sitting on the ground, and it was just like pure silence. And then I realized in that moment, it's been a long time since I've just like sat somewhere that was not in my dorm room, and just experienced silence. It reminded me so much of home. Um, and I'm very excited to get back to that because I'm only there for like 10 days, you know, and because of that, I kind of want to enjoy every single moment that I have. But also, I feel like a pressure to enjoy every single moment that I have while I'm back home because I know that I probably won't be back there again until December, which sucks very much. But then I also think, right, what sucks about not being back home, right? And I want to say it's just the people. I want to say it's just like my family, my friends. But I think I also like I live in Delaware, right? I like sometimes the stillness that Delaware possesses. It doesn't have much, and the area I live in is very um uh, countryside kind of sort of, not entirely, but like more of like the suburban, not much happening there. But the stillness of being able to just sit outside on some grass at your own home, beautiful, you know. And I wish I could take all the good parts of home and put them in a separate place that I really enjoy. And I guess that doesn't really happen until you make your own home. I've been so fascinated recently with the idea of buying a home, buying a house. I don't have buy a house money, that's for sure, you know. And ideally, I'd like to, in an ideal world where things are great, I'd like to buy a house by 28. I'm 23 right now. That's 5 years from now. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Is it difficult to do? Hell yeah, for sure, without a doubt. But anything is possible. And I think I'm very fascinated with the idea of buying a home because I want a place to call my own. I don't want to have to follow any guidelines. I don't want to have to worry about people knocking at my door. I don't want to have to worry about getting calls saying I got locked out of my room. Can you open up the door for me? I want to be able to live in a place that has everything that I want, everything that I need, all in that one place. It's raining outside. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I'm wondering if the light in the room is going to turn off soon at some point. I don't know. I have this little Polaroid book here. It says Dear Moment on it. And most of the photos in this are from home. I'm going to hold it up so like kind of the camera can see a little bit. But there's it's like memories of home and people that remind me of home and people that I haven't seen for a while. Some people that I don't talk to anymore. But nonetheless, it's like home. Snippets of home. And it's kind of cool to think about, And at some point it pivoted from being home to being elsewhere. Like now we're in LA. These are all photos taken in Los Angeles. I haven't taken a Polaroid back home since this is still LA. And then this is Boston again. I haven't taken a Polaroid back home since, this might be outdated. Let me see. Last Polaroid back home was August 17th, 2021. Right? I think that's outdated because I do have a Polaroid of Kira and I on her birthday. Her birthday is New Year's. But I think that was 2022. So it was like the beginning of 2022 was the last time I took a Polaroid when I was back home. Which, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really mean too much, just because, I kind of stopped taking Polaroids here and there just because the film gets expensive, bro. The film gets stupid expensive. But I think on a micro level of things, it kind of just means to me, man, bro, I haven't been, invested, or not invested, but I haven't been infused in, my mindset of home. I haven't been infused in home in this amount of time, which feels weird to me. It's obviously a sign that, we're growing up. All right, I'm growing up. I'm talking about me right now. It's obviously a sign that I'm growing up, but I think it's kind of difficult for me to come to terms with just because growing up means change. And I'm never I don't say I'm never anti-change. I'm not anti-change, but it takes some work for me to be on board with it, And I just turned 23, so I'm thinking, man, in 7 years I'll be 30. I did a whole episode on me turning 30 last night. So I'm doing something else now. But no, yeah. I'm excited to go back home. I'm interested to see what what that looks like. I think it's so funny because last year, was it last year? I think it was. Last year I was procrastinating on I was procrastinating on doing one of my finals, May 2nd, 2023. Yeah. And my way of procrastinating, I was just like making random songs. Like I'd find a beat on YouTube and then I'd like freestyle to it. And not like freestyle rap, but like just go with the flow and see what happens. And I was asking my friends, I was like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I think Jeff suggested it. My friend Jeff was like, oh, you should do a country song. And I was like, all right, bet. Someone on YouTube look up like country type beat. I say all this to say I did the song and I called it Delaware, right? And it's all about home. And the song completely sucks. The song is like absolutely hot garbage. And I'm not saying that just to be like, but no, the song is actually garbage. I just think it's like it's a funny thing that I'm talking about this now, talking about Delaware and talking about being home, and then my brain clicking to remember that I made this. I'm gonna play it. First of all, Delaware is not as like my lifestyle in Delaware is not as country as I present it to be here in this song, but I'm gonna play it anyways just because I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, I'm gonna commentate as it happens. I guess I was like
she always told me,
pretending I was a farmer or something.
she said, when you grow up, don't forget about me. I said, how could I ever? You're important to me. I can never forget you, baby girl.
I wonder if I was like
There's a certain twinkle you always had.
doing like a Kanye West homecoming type
I'll
thing
never forget.
where I'm talking to Delaware and he's like talking to Chicago. That's why I brought it up.
Delaware and green pastures, ring on your finger, thank the pastor.
Slow rise in the moonlight, we can do it all day, but baby, I'll be alright. If home is where the heart is, baby. And this is what I mean.
If home is where the heart is, that's with you. If home is where the heart is, baby. I know the hardest part is leaving.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
If home is where the heart is, baby. If home is where the heart is, that's with you.
I should not subject you guys to this much
If home is where the
longer.
heart is, baby. I know the hardest part is leaving you. Don't you know how much I missed you?
All right, I'm gonna pause that right there. but like the message of the song, like if home is where the heart is, then that's with you, And I guess wherever I go and I feel comfortable enough to call my own, like I feel weird like saying like I'm at home right now. When people be like, "Oh, where you at?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm at home right now," and it just be me in a dorm, Like that feels weird to me just because like I know this isn't where my home is. However, if home is where the heart is, that's wherever I really feel like I'm at for real. I guess home in the literal sense is where you live, and this is where I live, so technically I'm home. But home is wherever I make it out to be. Your home changes over time, it changes as you grow, and the house in which you grew up in doesn't always be your home. You're always welcome in the house that I can't speak for everyone. I'm always welcome in the house that I've grown up in. I'm always welcome to acknowledge the house that I've grown up in as my home, But at one point in life that changes, and I think I'm really intrigued to see how that plays out in the future. And like when I have my own house, I'm like, yeah, I'm home. and then not being able to tell the distinction. I don't know what the proper wording is there. Not being able to distinctify the two. Maybe that's right. I don't know. Not being able to distinctify the two of the home I grew up in and the home in which I own. Those are both home. But only one of them is really home for real, you know? Strange, man. Strange. Life is full of intricacies and interesting things. I don't know. I sat here and yapped for about, 16 minutes? I decided not to show my face because I thought it would make me feel more mysterious, you know? And I kind of cooked this setup up, and I kind of really enjoy it. I also think it's stupid that I'm like, I'm not going to show my face. It makes me feel mysterious when the logo of Talks with Ken is literally just my face, you know? But I don't know. I thought it would be a fun little switch up, a cool little vibe change. I don't know. This podcast grows with me, and I'm always changing. So I guess there really is no home setup for Talks with Ken because it's always changing. Talks with Ken is a moving piece. I don't know. I used to have the theme song on here. Yeah. And I haven't played this little thing in a minute. I don't think I've ever given the backstory of how this happened. I think I was just in my room creating beats one day, or attempting to create beats, and I came up with this. And I was like, I just like the way it flows. So, thanks for watching Talks with Ken. I'm Ken, and I'm done talking. Cue the theme music. Yeah. It's also Canada's beat. Yo, you know, and I'm like, Talks with Ken. One more time, and I'm like, Talks with